hello. We're having no difficulty.
We're having what difficulty?
Technical difficult. We're having a lot of difficulties, as you can see. I'm just going to unplug this from your phone and plug it into mine and see if it works. If it's a possibility.
All right. How's everyone doing? Grandma needs her big giant TV monitor in order to see comments, so.
Because she's blind.
We have to set that up. They're all going to be delayed anyway, so. But
it's all right.
How's everyone doing?
See.
You done?
I'm done.
Good. I know it's been a while. Been a good long while. I asked somebody to check when was the last time we actually did one of these live streams, and they were like, Creeper Gallery? I'm like, no, since we sat down and actually did
a conversation,
one of these live streams, but it's okay. She's punch drunk.
Yeah, I'm tired.
It's been a while. We're all tired. And been very busy with a million things. I think since the last time we did one of these, we've had probably at least one Creeper Gallery investigation, the Jawan event, the Smith Cadbury event,
the German Club,
and the filming with Tony Romeo. No, maybe we talked after the Tony. I think we talked after the Tony Romeo thing. But yeah, we've done a lot. So we'll go back to the last thing that I remember was halfway through a great month. Yeah, it's halfway through a crazy month. We're 2 weeks away from the expo.
We're trying to remember what we've done so far.
So it's really crunch time as far as the expo and getting everything together for the last minute. I mean, this is when things really get nutty, crazy. And tomorrow's my son's birthday. Also my mom's birthday, who passed for over 4 years ago. Lots of other things. My daughter, I call him my dog grandson. He's 14 years old. He's having serious health issues on top of everything else we're dealing with. So it's like everything and anything. But God, last thing that I think we did the German club first before, right? That was during the week. We did the Germania Park.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday.
We did that during the week, which again was another during the week thing. And
Michael.
That was definitely interesting. You got to see a little bit of that room. I know we had Wi-Fi difficulty because I went back and watched a little bit of the video, not a lot of it, but I went back and watched a little bit of the video from the downstairs meeting room, and it was choppy, very choppy. And their Wi-Fi was kind of wonky, especially downstairs. But not a lot happened during that investigation. Like I said, there was intermittent interaction with some of the equipment here and there. We debunked a lot of it. There was high EMF in the one room. We could tell a lot of things that were going on, that we thought were originally something or something else. Then we made it down to the basement, and the problem with the basement is that's where he saw the shadow figure just a week or two before, but it's so loud down there. I mean, everything is down there, air conditioning, you name it.
You got big, massive
refrigerator,
rooms, and they can't shut those things down, so you hear that in that hallway, and it's like it's really hard to. So
it was really hard to do what we needed to do in that area. So we go into the back.
I was pointing to who was watching, sir. Oh no, I thought it was someone else. I can't read. I'm so blind, it's ridiculous.
I want to make sure I get everyone.
John has been really poking at me a lot, as you can tell. Poke.
Got him. All right, everybody's accounted for.
Okay.
Wait. Got the last one.
All right.
So we went down to the basement, and we went into that meeting room and we had Haley with us, who speaks German. That's Carl's son. And Haley was very, very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were lost. We would ask our questions like usual. But of course, you know, that place has been in existence since the late 1800s. And odds are the majority of the members from then till the 1930s, right? Somewhere probably spoke German for the most part, you would think.
I think in the last, I think they said up until like the 50s, 60s,
Yeah, 1950.
70s.
Yeah, that's
they
probably
were
when it started
like,
transitioning.
yeah,
over
there were less people speaking fluent German and like, yeah.
So Haley, we got to participate in a mock meeting. We put our funny hats on. We got to do the gong. I got to read a passage from
a poem.
One of their poems, which in German sounds, everything in German sounds scary. I'm sorry, but it does. That was a poem about a boomerang. And when Carl was reading it, it was like, hiya, and I'm like, wow, that's some serious stuff. And then he's like, do you want to read it? And I'm like, the boomerang flew away. The boomerang. I'm like, really? That's what that was?
So that's the whole thing. When you get up, when you get up, when you get up and you read the poems, it has to be in German. That's
part
the
of the
crazy
meeting.
part.
Yeah, it's part of the meeting.
Part of the meeting. And they did say that when they do their opening and everything, that all has to be in German. That's part of the rules. And they still have some of the elders that do the German. They do have the rituals and stuff that they do have to follow in rules. They have certain candles that can be. Then John wanted to light. No, we can't light them. They can't be lit.
Haley was like, you can't light a candle. Haley was like, you can't bang that gong. Haley was like, you can't read this. And I'm just like, can I do anything in this meeting? I want to have a meeting. Can we do a meeting?
They did invite John to go back to one of their actual meetings if he chooses to, which I think is pretty cool.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to drink some German beer, and I'm going to put my hat on, and I'm going to listen to all that German.
She was sitting by. She actually had on the robe that she wears and stuff for the meetings, and sat behind the chair, and he said the name of what the chair and the whole thing, and John tried to repeat it, and he couldn't do it, so we actually got a response onto the side, like whoever was there was offended by John trying to say it and said, no,
I have a problem with the English language. And that's what I was brought up on. And I took Spanish in high school. I could count to 10, but anything, and the bad words. Of course, I know the bad words because we worked with a guy who spoke Spanish, and he would teach me all the bad words. But no, I'm not good with other languages. I'm not good with English. So, I mean, thank God I'm never going to England. So I didn't even have to learn English that well. But so anyway, that was the night. Again, when we finally did make it into the area where the actual one documented death occurred. That was a man who had a heart attack.
Yes.
He had a heart attack out near the men's room, and there's stairs that go down into that meeting room. Documented, it really did happen. We started to get a little bit of activity.
Wasn't he coming
there
from like the dance hall or the eating area or something to go like the stairwell to go to the bathroom?
He may have came around the back.
Yeah.
There. But that's where we started to get a little bit of interaction. And then my phone started dying, and that was that. But we did in the men's room of all places.
We got a German word that we didn't know until. Listen.
You know how many emails that I got? I got 3 messages from people in the club or former members who said what that word was and what it meant.
Did they?
Yeah.
What did it mean?
It meant something about being silly or being arrogant or stupid. It was something like
a duh. Duh.
Yeah.
Because that's what
Gina?
Haley said. Haley had made a comment like she goes, for a lack of a better word, it's like someone going, duh, like, duh, like, really? That's what you said? Duh. Like, and she says,
I think it was the hat.
The hat? Why would you say you think it was the hat?
I was wearing
You were still wearing the hat in the bathroom?
I think so. I kept that hat on until the end, I think.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, you did.
Kenny got the best hat. Kenny had like the gesture.
With the bells.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker.
I wanted that one.
We're trying to do EVPs and stuff, and all you could hear was the jingle. Because if he even moved slightly, you could hear the jingle of the bells of the Jester's Act.
But that was a building, you know, they asked us to do it. There are claims of people seeing things. It was just that time, that night, we really didn't get much of anything. And that's, again, further proof that it doesn't always happen all the time. It's not going to happen every time we do a live or do an event or do anything. It's just, you never know. There's no button. We just do what we do, no matter where we go. And we tried all different areas and everything we always try. And there just wasn't much there. And we talked to Carl, and Carl's like, if you ever want to come back and do it again, which we're thinking about doing in the wintertime, we could do it again. If not, you're welcome to just have a meal and have a beer and attend a meeting and hang out, which I would probably do, because
that meeting
I want to watch a meeting. I want to watch a meeting so bad. I'm not going to understand probably anything that's going on, but it's just the hats and the gongs and everything else is entertaining enough for me, for sure.
So all I need to do is get you a gong here and a hat?
You don't need that at all. You're entertaining
for you.
All on your own.
I know I'm entertaining.
You don't need any of that other stuff. So we went from there to the Friday night event, which was Camp Evans with Juwan Mass from Ghost Brothers, and Juwan was awesome. Nice guy, good guy. And again, you know, it's great to meet these people from TV who just are regular people and appreciate the people that come out to see them and meet them and quote unquote ghost hunt with them. And Juwan's definitely one of those guys. Just easygoing, fun to be around, easy to talk to, interacts, he jokes, he's just a good guy. I mean, I had a really good time that Saturday night, and I think a lot of other people did as well. He just, like I said, he did a little Q&A. I apologized for Tracy. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. Tracy, who we love, Tracy and her apparatus.
Oh my God.
We love Tracy. Tracy sitting in the very front row of his lecture, his Q&A. And the very first question that Juwan is asked is, who are you and were you on TV?
Are you serious?
You hear the car actually screeching, come to a stop. He looked at her like,
oh, Kathy was right there.
Follow-up question was, are you guys really brothers? Are you really related? I kid you not. I wanted to open the window and jump out, because I'm like, this is the impression we're making on Juwan. Like, this is front row person.
Tracy's Tracy. Tracy does that with everyone.
And people were there. They saw it, and they're, oh my God, and because they know. I was literally begging your husband Joe, please chloroform her, make it stop, do something, make it stop. So, and I'm like, don't worry, because we had the event, and Tracy's a really nice person, and so is Joe, and they're good people. And no, that was Deb doing that. But we go through the whole night, and Tracy was talking about how nice he was and how great it was to meet him. And I'm like, Joanne, tomorrow she's going to tell everyone she met Denzel Washington anyway. She's not going to have a clue who you were tomorrow. She's not going to remember who you were. So don't worry about it. But it was a really fun night. Joanne participated for the most part in every group. We had a really good few sessions in the area that I was, with pretty good activity in different groups in different areas. With Jawan, we must have gotten 2 or 3 EVPs with him. And he was, like I said, listening real close. He's got really good ears. I could hear what was coming out, but he was like, let me hear that again. Let me hear that again. And he's like, it said this. He heard it clear. So I was just like, and it was cool just having him there and getting him to see what Camp Evans was.
What did you tell me you guys
heard?
heard?
That was the teletype. That was we heard residual typing. There's a machine called a teletype that it has a little typewriter, the old-fashioned one on it, and it, appears on paper that's attached to it like a typewriter, but it was used to send messages and stuff. And we heard the
that's pretty
on and off and on and off, and we got some really good responses. That was a fun night. I would say at least 3 of my groups, we had a good time and we had some good interaction. And it was one of those things where that building really doesn't disappoint.
Never.
A whole lot.
Never.
We really never have a bad time there. There's usually Kathy. Yeah. Oh, the way that said your name was beyond creepy.
I heard about
and
that.
I'll tell you 2 things. It said Kathy twice her name, and it said Kathy, and like kind of screamed it. And we talk about equipment and things not being coincidence. The stick figure, Alex brought that up. SLS on that piece of equipment, I actually mapped something working. It was leaned over it, and it looked like it was typing. And we call it the EVP.
So that's even more impressive.
I kept telling people how we usually hear. We heard whistles and we heard knocks in the corner, and on the app it said, "I'm in the corner."
Oh,
literally right afterwards, and it was one of those like, again, how in the world is that a coincidence? How could that be a coincidence?
And it's interacting directly with you.
There's no way that's a coincidence.
So I brought something. We did something different in my group, and we definitely got results and things happening. And I don't want to say, the people who are there know what it is, and I don't really want to say what it was, because again, we know the watchers. Like John says, the watchers.
I like how she's referring. She's doing it now. I'm the one.
Right. But yes, Donna, that was so awesome, wasn't it? That you actually asked what its rank was, and it said private as clear as day. There was no guessing exactly. It was very clear. But what we did in the group that I had really amped up activity so much that we had voices happening. We had one of the equipment that we used was actually doing Morse code. And there was oh my God, Nikki, the EVPs in the office. Remember with all the stuff that it was saying? They did an EVP session, and they asked basically who they were, and they said the group's name, and they asked
Camp Evans.
And what did you do in this group? And it actually said SEX, which was insane. But there were other things that were happening. The walking overhead, the voices, the equipment going off. Things were moving on the table that shouldn't have been moving. When one side of one thing moved, somebody said, "Can you do it to the other side?" And it actually did it. And it was insane. I mean, I was a little intimidated by it, but it was pretty impressive. I was shocked. It seemed to amp it.
Yeah, Alex said he had a fun time, and again, Joanne made it fun. It was a lot of fun. We also, did what we always do. There's a picture.
Move in the other room.
Somehow some little kid snuck in. There's this guy, Bill, that was there. He's a real tall guy, and Joanne is tall too. They're both about 6'4" each. And if you look, one of the pictures I posted, there's this little kid in between them in the photo. I don't know how he snuck in there, but Joanne is doing one of these, pointing at him, like in the picture, and he's pointing at his eyeballs because he's so short. So I don't know where that kid came from, but he snuck in.
That's funny. So I have to say something.
No, I got to explain the joke.
Okay.
You're going to cut it off.
I didn't know you were continuing.
Alex is not a tall person. Joanne is 6'4". Bill, Alex's friend, is also 6'4". They're tall. They're tall compared to me. I mean, they tower over me a little bit, but Alex is shorter than I am. So Alex is in the middle of the picture, and you got these 2 twin towers, these big guys on either side. And Joanne is doing one of these, pointing at Alex, and normally it would be on his chest, but it's like And
had
Alex
his
is,
pen.
so yes, Alex is
Alex
vertically challenged. So, but what a funny picture. And he said that his wife was messaging him like pictures of the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka
That's
after
really funny.
he showed him the picture.
So,
But good time though, really good
it
time.
was a great time. So you know the candles that turn on and like that the spirits can turn on and off. Well, you know I have just regular candles that are battery operated that I just set just for show, right? So when we asked the spirit to turn the candle off or on, it didn't shut off the one it was supposed to. It literally shut off one that I had in a holder on the table.
That was just a prop.
Which was great. Like, it did it twice between two people.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, like I said, that was really, really a fun night. And Joanne enjoyed himself. He told me he loved the building. He told me he had a great time. And, you know, we're already talking about, you know, other things for next year and things that we want to do. So if you missed them this time, you'll have a chance. You know, I mean, you can meet them at the expo. You can meet them all at the expo. But as far as like an event where you could investigate with them and stuff, you'll have your chance next year for sure. Bill got affected by something in the office.
He did. We asked him if he was okay. He was like, yeah, he seemed to be a little bit.
I mean, that building, that's a great building. I mean, it really, it'll surprise you in any area at any time. You don't know. That's the beauty of that building, is that you could not have anything happen in two areas, and then you hit the basement or whatever, and something could happen. That's what we love about that building, is that it's the I don't know factor. Even being in, I'm in the same place for 4 hours, and I don't know what's going to happen from moment to moment, group to group, session to session, and it's awesome. I love it. I love every minute of it. So, like I said, we'll definitely be doing something again with Juwan. He had a great time, and it was fun working with him, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. A lot of people took pictures. I know some people bought some of his merch, but he's just a good guy. He really is. He's just, like I said, just funny, good to be around, very engaging. Sometimes, you know, some celebrities or some people that you meet, even from like TV shows and stuff like that, like The Walking Dead or whatever, you know, they're not really engaging or approachable, or, you know, Shawan is a guy, like, he'll walk up to you. Yeah, you know, you'll walk up to you, he'll walk up to you, you walk up to him, and he's a very approachable guy, you know? So, I mean, he's very real, and he appreciates, you know, where he is and what got him there. But really, really good time. Again, that's why we rely on you guys to kind of remind us some of the things, because for us, we've done so much in the last God knows how many days that it really does become a blur, what was what and where was where. So we went right from there, getting home. Of course, we go to the Wawa, do what we always do. Then we get home, charge everything, a shower. You don't get to bed till 3-ish. You wake up. Now we have an event on Saturday, South Jersey. Here we come. First time ever going to the Smith Cadbury. And I'm going to tell you, for a small-ish building,
it delivers.
Packs a punch.
Oh,
it packs a punch. And we were pleasantly surprised by what happened, John and Chris, as I did miss the live and confused about it. I don't know.
We're just talking about what we've been doing this whole
since the last live stream. Yeah. We're talking about the Jawan event that we did on Saturday night at Camp Evans, and now we're going to talk about Smith Cadbury, which we investigated. Was our first time bringing people in. We didn't know how it was going to go. I literally had a room to work with. I could have went into the kitchen as well on the first floor. I didn't need any other room. The room I had was really active in such a cool way. There are people that have died in that building, and a lot of the activity we think revolves around the Harris family, Edward Jr. and the children, the Harris children, Sarah being one of them. Right, she's the little girl. Um, but Hessian soldiers were there. There were rumors or stories of them being up in the attic, being treated, and they're wounded, possibly dying up in the attic. Other families have lived there, Smith family, Cadbury family. That house has been around a very, very long
Christina.
time. Native Americans were rumored to have slept there in the winter in the basement. So really interesting history. So we go in there again with a decent amount of people fresh off of their ghost walk. Now we're arriving to set up, and there are literally cars everywhere and people going in and out of that building because they got 250 people for their downtown ghost walk, which people dress up and you go to place. Now the walk started at the Smith Cadbury, and a lot of the actors
they had to come back and change. And do
So we're trying to set up around that, and they're coming in and out and in and out.
It was a madhouse,
and we're like, Jesus, how are we going to do this? We had to put chairs into place. We had to move a table around. We had to set up all the different areas. But once we kicked in and started going,
it went off like a bang.
I never thought in a million years that I would have as much activity and as good of a time as in one room as I did.
Well, let me tell you, that second floor was extremely active, and I warned everybody that came into the group what happened in the last group about this computer that turned itself on and off when nobody was there. It had done it 3 times at that point. And Alex actually sat over there. Yeah, that's not funny. Alex, I'm about ready to tell on you. Alex actually cursed. Where they heard him up in the attic and wanted to know why. And it was because he was sitting there, and all of a sudden that computer went boop, and he cursed.
And again, we're talking older computers where you have to move the mouse.
Yeah.
To
you have to activate it. It has to be moved to activate it.
Yeah, and they shouldn't just pop on.
No, and then
it's not a touch screen.
And it wasn't just that, it was just other things went off with it that just validated. A spirit was calling somebody else there mean, not once but twice.
Mean?
Mean. Oh. MEAN, mean. She's mean, you're mean. And it was just like there were so many different things that were happening. Oh my God. We got 2 names that came through, Lisa and Stephanie, and we had no idea what that related to. And it turns out that Stephanie and Lisa work in that office at those desks right across from each other. And we didn't know that until Carl came in and told us, and it blew his mind. But we had so much activity. Why are you laughing?
I just read a comment and I was reacting to it. But
yep, caught a stiff figure trying to climb on the bed.
But that building, you get surprised every now and then. Sometimes the smaller ones are take you by surprise. You think these big giant mansions or these asylums and all that with all these spaces are going to be off the charts and activity everywhere. This was the first time in that building that many people were in that building trying to talk to the spirits that were there.
And they were open to it.
Boy, did they want every bit of it. They ate it up because when we were originally there on our preliminary investigation with Gary's awesome. He's on the board. I think he might be the president. I'm not sure. But Gary's awesome. And we mapped a figure in the one room that I was in. We mapped a figure, little guy that was running back and forth across the back of the room. And we're like, okay, that's kind of odd. And equipment was reacting here and there to it. So I said, you know what, that was happening. Let me just work in that room and see what I can get. And if I need to, I'll go across the hall to the kitchen area that was been there when the building was built. And oh my God, I got so much in that room that, like I said, I didn't have to move it. And it was all Sarah. It seemed like it was all Sarah. Sarah was coming through a lot on she loved the REM pod. REM pod kept going off. And then I forget who was in the group with me. I'm like, I'm going to prove that, like, this, not the battery going dead or whatever. I reached out and I said to her, I'm going to turn this off now. And I put my hand above it. Nothing the whole time. And I'm telling people, look, my hand is over this. I'm going to take it away, and nobody's making this thing go. And my hand is near the antenna, and I'm not making it go off. And I kept it there, and I kept it there. And I said, okay, now watch this. Took it away, took a couple of steps. I waited. All right, you're going to do that again? I was like, wow. She kept doing it. And Alex had the headphones on by himself, and everything was going off in the room around him. She didn't like that at all when I turned it off. And the bell that was one of where the bell went nuts and rang like 10 times in a row.
Freaking everybody
she
out.
was so active, and she liked everything that we brought there, the things that lit up and the rainbow lights and all that. She really liked that stuff. And like I said, I think she loved having people there trying to talk to her the whole night in different areas, because I know people were talking in the basement and everything about Sarah possibly being around with them.
I believe it. Well, so I had something happen that has never happened before, and it freaked me out. And I forget the people that were in the group for this one, but I was, everybody knows when we went into the office that I sat like in the doorway away from everything. So there was nothing around me. And I actually had something that grabbed the top of my head right here and pull. I mean, a big old yank that totally freaked me out, and I jumped and moved over to the other side. And somebody saw that happen. I didn't leave the group.
That's why Danielle was up there too, just in case it's a backup.
And,
yeah, you're right, Kathy.
And but I wanted you to talk about who was it that was that was listening to the thing and was saying the thing.
Oh, well, that was Ann. But Kathy brought up a good point. As the evening got later, she did say over and over again, sleep, rest, nap. Like she was telling us, it's late. And it was. I mean,
and we were being told to get out.
And we were talking like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I jumped.
You know what I mean? It's 10 o'clock at night. Who knows how early they went to bed, especially if this was a child back then. She kept repeating, like, okay, I spent all that time playing in the beginning. I got to go to bed. Yeah, a pet kept coming up too. We don't know if they had a dog or a cat or whatever, but that kept coming up too.
So we got killed animals. Do you know how like they told us when they came down through and they took the animals, they killed all the livestock.
That's what we were assuming. They may have killed getting that.
We kept getting like when somebody, remember how when you sat in that office room and you kept getting really hot in the heat, like something, and it wanted you to with the fire and stuff. So I put the dome right behind when people would sit. And then when we started talking about it, that dome would go off and react right behind them. Right. And some people did get where it was getting hot over there, and they didn't know yet about the story of you getting hot in that room. So once they started having those sensations, I would tell them about what happened with you in that room. And maybe it's associated with someone either wants you to go out and get the wood, because it said something about stack outside. So we're thinking maybe it was they wanted you to go out and get the wood to stop the fire.
They did reference outside a few times too.
And we got that.
And I think it was Kenny who said something about they saw lights in the basement that looked like they were coming from the outside.
Really?
But there was nobody out there. And somebody in my group kept saying outside when they had the headphones on, like they were referencing
like it wanted your attention.
Yeah, something's out there.
Stuff did happen through there. There's a bell out there to ring to warn.
Yeah.
So
good building though. I mean, they loved it, but yeah, she brings up so Echovox is called Echovox for a reason. It echoes. So that, again, the word comes in your brain, you may miss it the first go through, but the echo carries and your brain can catch up and, oh, dog, I'll hear dog. So, and if you're watching, again, we were laughing about this even before and during and after. So Anne puts the headphones on, and at first she's quiet, and I'm like, well, she's not getting nothing. And some people don't. It's like the spirit box.
Right.
Some people get everything. Some people get nothing. Some people get a few things. She's saying nothing. So I go in there. I'm like, Ann, nothing. She's like, oh, was I supposed to repeat? And I'm like, yes, Ann. She's like, oh, I'm hearing lots of things. I said, well, you need to convey what you're hearing because we're asking questions and we need to know what you're saying or what they're saying to you. Okay. So go in the other room. Now she goes, I don't know. I'm just making up words, but she would go, dog, 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 dog. Man, 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 man. No, 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 no. And we're cracking up. All of us in this room because she's repeating the echo. And we're just cracking. We couldn't even concentrate on like what the answers really were because she just kept doing it that way. And we're like,
She was doing the echo.
and I said to everybody in that group, I said, I've never heard anybody repeat the echo. Never. I've been doing this for long. Never.
Get
so
out, get out, get out.
so
get out, get
she
out.
comes back in the room, and I said to her, I said, Ann, it's an echo. We all know, but there is only one word there. You don't have to say the echo. And she's like, was I doing that? I said, you did it every time. So she's laughing. Everybody's laughing. And then when we were leaving, I'm like, goodbye, and I'm John. And everybody was like talking to her that way. It was so funny.
God.
It was literally like 10 minutes of her just going, what? Don't. And we were just laughing. We couldn't even like, the answers were just, everybody would just hear do it. They would just lean over and start laughing.
I mean, how could you be serious with that?
Oh, it was hilarious.
That's hysterical.
It was hilarious.
Oh my God. I wish that was recorded.
But she was such a good sport and she got a lot, man.
Yeah, I can
and
imagine.
from what I heard, she was getting stuff everywhere.
Oh, she was. I think she was the one that I actually had her put a cat ball in her hand. Just sit there with it, and out of the blue, all of a sudden it just goes tink, and then like the air got really, really cold right where she was. So there must have been something about her. There had to have been that was just drawn.
I said, Ann, I will never forget you. I said there are things, certain places and certain things I remember throughout all the years of us doing this. That was the first for me. When she first did it, we all looked at each other like, is she repeating the echo? And then she was like, bad, and everybody looked at each other and then we just started laughing. And then she kept doing it. We're like, oh, she's not going to stop. And then someone's like, should you go in there and tell her? I'm like, do you want me to? I'm like, we're getting the echo.
The big thing for me is that I'm usually the one that gets scared, and I'm the one that usually, does things that makes people laugh. But I have to say, it was really nice to be on the other end of it and watching somebody else, Alex, get scared and curse. And curse so loud that even the people up in the attic could hear, because that's all I heard when we switched groups was who cursed. We heard them curse from down there. And what was that about?
But that's the beauty of doing what we do, is that at any moment, at any place, at any time, there could be one of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's so unpredictable, but that's the great thing about it, is the unpredictability of what a spirit is capable of at what time and what place. That's what I love about it, is that there are a few times where it never bores me. I'm never really bored. I'm kind of like, I wish stuff was happening, but I'm never bored because I'm waiting to see if something's going to happen. But I live for those moments of surprise.
It was, I have to say,
whatever happens.
That night went by so fast, and even Camp Evans went by really fast. Yeah. Even though they were long days for us and we were tired, it didn't feel like work. It didn't feel like, oh my God, we got another, 20 minutes, whatever, to get through this. You know how, like, when you're really tired and you're exhausted, no matter how much fun you're having, you're just tired. but it was like you were so energized.
So what she's saying, guys, is that most other events that you attend,
no, that's not true.
It does feel like
no,
work to her at some point. And
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you're doing things at a hectic pace that we're doing, you do get really, really, really tired. And it was just one of those things that it went boom by so fast. You didn't, because you were so, there was so much happening that you really couldn't even process. Like normally you just wait for something to happen, but it was like bang, 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 one thing after another. There was never a pause. I guess that's the best way. There was never a pause with the activity of the stuff that was happening. And that's not usual.
It did. Again, it was for a small building. Boy, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I really did. And again, that's an hour and a half ride for us. So, you know, it took us a while. We were stuck in traffic getting up there. And then, you know, leaving there, we went and got pizza.
Oh my God, that was a trip. That in itself, guys. Now that was.
So let me tell you this story. So we go out for pizza. There's only like one pizzeria open till 2:00 in the morning in that area. So we decide we're hungry. We're going to go out to eat. Usually it's a diner or a Wawa. We know this pizza that's open until 2:00 in South Jersey. So we go to this place. Now they're open, nobody in it but us. So it's me, Chris, Tanya, Kenny, and Danielle. So we're in this pizzeria. We order a large plain pie. I got garlic breadsticks with cheese on them. Again, not great for 1:00 in the morning, I know. And Kenny got a hamburger. Now, let this be a lesson to you kids out there watching. You don't buy hamburgers from pizzeria, and you don't buy pasta from diners. Diners can't make Italian food, and pizzerias can't make hamburgers. It's just, it doesn't happen.
Marianne.
So anyway, Kenny decides he's going to get a hamburger. So we're waiting for our food. Our food comes out. Kenny's hamburger comes out, and I'm looking at it. It's thin and it's gray. I mean gray. So I'm looking at this thing, and I'm just waiting for him to try it. I'm like looking, eat my cheesy sticks, and I'm looking at him, and he takes a bite out of it, and he's like, this just doesn't taste right. And I'm like, dude, look at the color of that thing. Burgers aren't supposed to be gray. Good. And he's looking at it, and inside, you know, it just looked weird, like purplish. It was just gross looking. So he puts it down, and we're thinking, you're going to get sick. So whatever that is, it ain't. She said it was an Angus burger. We're like, that's an anus. That's an anus burger. That's from someone's anus. That ain't an Angus burger. God. So then, you know, the pizza's out. The sticks are out. We're all kind of eating our stuff. Now Kenny doesn't have anything, so
he's just eating his
the
fries.
waitress comes out. He's eating his French fries. He tells her, this doesn't look good. It doesn't taste good. She's like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, I'd like to replace it with an Italian sub, not hoagie. We said sub. So, all right. Now, 10 minutes goes by, 15 minutes goes by. We're pretty much all done eating.
20 minutes
minutes go by. How long does it take to make a sub? A sub is a couple of slices of cold cuts, some cheese or whatever, vinegar, oil. Where is it? It comes out. Even the meat was discolored. And it came in a box. And Kenny goes, where'd you get that from? The Wawa down the road? Because it took so long. So it was, the pizza was okay. The pizza's not great. The cheesy things were good. They were good. But the food, but again, at 2:00 in the morning, 1:00 in the morning, what are you going to get?
Making this burger at McDonald's.
No, a sub is a sub. A sub is a sandwich. Hot or cold.
But it was an interesting way to end the evening. But at least we weren't getting hit by acorns on our head either while we were trying to eat like we did the last time at the pizzeria down there.
But that was funny. So again, we get home late. Sunday, you know, we're tired, you know, beat up from everything. And we knew that, you know, we have, you know, the expo, we have the library, and I wasn't done with the library presentation because we've been so busy. So I'm working and working hours and hours putting that together. Now, it was in Trenton. So we don't really go to Trenton all that much. I'll be honest with you. I think I've been to Trenton maybe, besides this, maybe one other time in my life I've been to Trenton. And
yeah, we went to the Trent punk rock thing, right?
yeah. Okay, there was another time I went to, I think, a courthouse there. So we had never been to Trenton before. We wanted to get there early. We get there early enough. Now, the library itself, South Jersey's full of old buildings. They're old towns.
It's beautiful.
The library dates back part of it to the late 1800s. So we go there and they're renovating part of it. So we were in another side. And again, the staff there was great. They moved things out of the way. They put the chairs up. Great. They brought the makeshift projector that they had to use out there. They were really cool to us. And we're like 5 minutes into setting up, and they're like, we've got some spirits here. And we're like, what now? And the guy goes, Trent's a little boy. I've seen him a lot. He worked there 20 years, they said. And I'm like, you've seen him? He goes, see him all the time. He's always around.
What do you say? 75% of the staff see the spirit, and that is not usual.
So we're like, well, where do you see him? And he goes, well, our new director, he touches her head and her shoulder in her office up there, and that's one of the older part of the buildings. But I see him a lot in the basement where all the old shelves for the old library were and some of the old books. And I said, can we go down there? He's like, you want to see it? I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. So those are the pictures that I posted. Those are from way down. You go down a couple of flights of stairs, you're in the basement, and it is creepy down there with a capital C. All those old shelves, wooden shelves are everywhere. They're all, and again, everybody makes the same joke that I made. You really expected the librarian from Ghostbusters to come out and then turn into a demon. But he's like, I see Trent all around here, and I always like, hey, Trent, I'm doing this, and then I'm getting out. Hey, Trent, I'm doing that, and I'm getting out. So then the director, who was really, really nice, along with the Melanie who brought us in, I said to the director, I said, have you really been touched? He goes, oh, yeah, I've only been here a year and a half, and whoever it is has touched my head at least 3 or 4 times. So we were like, cool. So there is a chance we could go in there and investigate it at some point. Where she really wants, I think the director may be interested in doing that. Could it happen? They have a board. You got to get approval. Yeah. Who knows? But she's interested. So she was actually saying during our lecture, she came over to me. She goes, did you see me doing that at all during your lecture? And I'm like, no, I pay attention to like everyone and what I'm doing. She's like, while you were doing the lecture, I was touched at least 2 times on my head. Itself.
But you know what? Besides the old look, you already knew I was totally taken with the building when we went in there, and the woodwork and the stairwells, and it's like it's absolutely stunning. You could just feel the history, and when you walked into the library area, it was so welcoming and so warm.
Those stairs, I have a picture.
Yeah, they go right up over. But when you went down where they took us to the tour to the old part of the bottom, where people don't get to go, they literally still have the system of that, the floor to floor where the books go down and the thing goes down below the floor, and that what do they call that? It's old, but it literally they pull the books and the books go down. Like there's a big hole in the floor and down goes that shelf, and it's just like, and the books come around and like, people pull them off, put the other ones, and it comes. It was amazing to see that. I was like so taken with that.
But there again, going to South Jersey, Anna was there, and Jose, he was there. They brought a friend with them, but Hector, was it named Hector?
Jose or Hector.
But we, like I said, we don't go to South Jersey much, so it was nice to be there and have people like talking to people that do what we do. They feel more comfortable. So when we come into a building, the people that work there, there's Anna. Well, the people that work there, they're like, yeah, we've seen, yeah, we've heard, yeah, we it happens. And a building that old, I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, nothing scary, nothing, but who's ever touching the administrator, that person wants attention.
Well, she said,
You know?
I think what the interesting part when she said about she had her hair in a bun, and it literally it was like a little hand. She said went right and grabbed her right by the bun, and it totally freaked her out.
So it's cool because when that happens, you're like, well, I got my equipment. What do you think? But the thing about that library is it closes at 8, like most libraries, and unbeknownst to me, the computer shut down at 7:30, and our lecture was
automatically.
Our lecture is from 6:30 to 7:30, but usually that's the case everywhere. But we go till they close till 8, and I have this whole program. I'm doing this whole lecture, and I've got all this video to show and all this stuff to talk about. And all of a sudden, Chris comes over to me and she's like, it's like 10 after 7, quarter after. She goes, hey, just so you know, the computer's automatically shut off at 7:30. And I look up and I've got
and I've just been told that.
I'm like quarter of the way through my video. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do the, zip through time. I skipped all these videos. I went to like the 2 or 3 best that I had at the end, gave them like 5 minutes for questions and whatever. And then we were done.
And then even more of that was funny is that as we packed up and we're leaving and we're in this little thin hallway and we're getting ready to go on the elevator, the lights go out. At 8 o'clock, lights go out automatically too. Down. And we're like, oh, okay. That took us all by surprise. And the librarian was just so calm. Oh yeah, 8 o'clock they go out no matter what. That's just the way it goes. The library's closed at 8. Boop.
But the staff were really good staff. I mean, they were all really like accommodating,
talking, joking with us. Very
I mean, everything was like not even that. They were just like we'll take care of this. We'll do that. We'll take care of that. I mean, we help. We always help any way we can. But we got that. We got this. We'll move this. We'll move it. What else do you need? Could you dim the lights? Sure. You know what I mean? They were just really, really nice people.
It was nice.
I mean, Melody, nice. I really, with names, first time around, I'm not really good with names. I wish I remembered the name of the guy who worked in the basement.
Yeah, because he was
the one where I was like, hey, we come back here and we go down there and try to talk to Trent. You coming? And he's like,
no. I know.
He's like, I ain't messing around with that.
Let alone see him look at the table with the dark stuff that John brought and had on display. He was like, oh.
Yeah, we brought some of Donna's objects because that was part of it. But there was really no time for any of it because, people have so many questions about, the afterlife and how things work and about TV shows. And it's like, once you get through all of that and you get into your content, it goes quick. It goes really, really quick.
It does.
So
it did.
I'm now tailoring the Clark and Linden lectures to be a little different. I could say what it is. I was originally going haunted objects, haunted buildings, to do a combination of like new stuff. And I changed my mind. And feel free to use this out there. If you're doing a library lecture before I do, put your label on it and say it's yours. I've got no problem with doing that. Just get ready because I'm going to tell you what I'm calling it. I'm calling it spirit communicating and interacting. And it's basically on, we'll leave it at that because I don't want to ruin the lecture. But you could write that down, do what you want with it, or put your label on it. But I changed it and I made a really cool intro for it. But now I dug out an old hard drive that I had that has all these cool clips from past investigations that, I forgot about and things that, again, we haven't shown in a while. Mm-hmm. And I'm going through all those to try to, but again, the idea is like
when is that lecture?
How do I make it so that it's still, within an hour or an hour and a half?
Exactly. Robin, I hope you and your husband are okay. They were in a car accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you're okay. The Clark Library lecture, what's today's date? I don't even know. I really don't even know. When somebody told me that the VIP party was 2 weeks from tomorrow,
we're like, what?
I almost like had a heart attack. So Clark
Yes.
Library. Oh, they're back to back. Oh no, we moved the Linda one.
Yeah.
Clark Library is October 22nd, which is next week. So that's the Clark Library in Clark, New Jersey. We usually get a pretty good turnout for that one. I'll post the ad tomorrow. Clark Library, 7 p.m., October 22nd. That's in Clark, New Jersey. Nice area, nice town. We bumped the Linden Library lecture. Say that 3 times. The Linden Library lecture, we moved that to the 29th, I want to say. Oh, no, 30th. 30th. Day before Halloween?
Yes. Yep.
I don't know if you're right about that.
That's what you told me.
I got to check that one. I got to check the one on the website. Is
He's
that a
going to post
Saturday?
them.
No, the 29th is. We have an event. I don't think that's the right day. I got to check it because if I don't check it, it ain't checked. So it's either the 29th or the 30th. I think it's the 29th might be an event. When is the Centenary University, the last one?
November 30th.
Yeah. All right. Maybe it's October 30th. Man, the day before Halloween, that'd be cool.
Imagine if I'm right.
That would be cool. It would defy the odds, for sure.
That's what you say publicly.
Are you going live Halloween night? Here's the problem with Halloween night. It's the day before the VIP party for the expo, which means we're probably going to be inside where the VIP party is being held, setting up for the VIP party. So we're going to be working Halloween night. So yeah, that ain't going to happen, you know. And
then Mischief Night is the night we'll be at the library. If the 30th is the correct date.
Well, we're going straight through. This is going to be, and you know, I keep getting requests for tickets, and I hate saying no to people, but I have to because these events are all sold out. But Smith Cadbury, you're definitely gonna, if you missed it this time, you're gonna want to go to that one next year.
Definitely gonna be in our list for next year.
I had so much fun there that night. I never ever thought I would have as much fun in one room, for 4 hours. I never ever thought, if you would have told me that, I really thought, again, I was like, because we were talking about which areas we were going to take. The basement's pretty big. There's an attic that we got activity before when we did our initial investigation. Tanya had that. Second floor has 2 bedrooms. It has another room with all these artifacts and old toys. And then it has a back office with a fireplace. So I'm thinking, I'm taking the worst spot. I've only got 1 room and a kitchen. So even if I get nothing, they've all got pretty good areas. Hopefully they'll get something.
I had a great area.
And people will have a good time.
I had a great area.
But that room shocked the you-know-what out of me.
Took you by surprise, right? So yeah, we do have Centenary on the 26th, but he wanted to know what was the last date. And the last date for the Centenary is November 30th. So we have one the 26th of October, and we have one November 30th.
Yeah, that's all sold out. So, I mean, there really is nothing available. Trying to squeeze in a fundraiser. We really want to because we could use the funds. We do need more equipment. Stuff breaks. You know, we need more of certain things, you know. And
we have to say thank you to Kathy and to Marie and Peter and to all of you guys. I mean, you guys, one, the batteries that you guys have provided, Patricia. 2, you guys brought us hot tea and coffee, and you guys brought us soda and candy to get us through for this past weekend. And that's a huge deal for us. That we don't take that for granted.
Burlington Prison.
Appreciate that.
That's the open house.
Yes.
Come to that if you want to hang out and with us.
What time is that from the open house? 12?
12 to 4. So come to the Burlington Prison. Again, I have to promote that as well. I was supposed to call Janet today. We didn't. But come to that one. Again, all the proceeds go to the towards the Historic Society. for the Burlington prison, not to the township or anything. So you'll be supporting a really good cause. All the proceeds go to them. They want people to come visit the prison, tour the prison. It's haunted. Really good reason to do that. And we'll be there hanging out all day.
And the first few, what? We'll get a reading. They can get a reading.
It's the first
from
10.
First 10.
Yeah, that's Eric, the runes and bone reader.
Oh, Edward. Is it Edward?
Yeah, Edison. Edward Edison.
That's his name. Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to get another reader, but I don't think we're going to have any luck doing that. But come by, hang out. It'll be, again, the last time to really do that before the year's up. But we're there's just nowhere to squeeze in a fundraiser, although we really could use it because, again, equipment and batteries alone, man, is crazy expensive, and when you don't make money off of your events, which we don't, because we are 100% nonprofit, even the library thing that we did, we know they get grants for their programs. But rather than spend that money on us, have another program. Bring somebody else in, add more programming for your community.
Somebody told us, right?
Kids.
Somebody said, how come you're not paid? How come you're not paid to go do the libraries? Because it takes away from a program. And if there's another program that they can invest in for the kids or whatever, then that's what we wanted them to do. It's important. You have to support a community to keep a community going. And if you're taking from the community, you're actually taking away from your community and what can be done for. I mean, John knows this, that in my heart of why supporting libraries is a big deal for me. As a single parent with my daughters growing up, the libraries was my source for arts and crafts, movie nights, so many different things that your libraries offer that most people don't know.
Oh, well, before we go, too, one more thing that we're going to cover, because we haven't been on it so long. Creeper Gallery.
Huh.
We were at the Creeper Gallery one of the nights this week. That was the night before the library, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we investigated 2 objects. One of them had the word evil on it, so I had to. I had to. And the other one was the little shoes. See, I remember.
Yeah,
I didn't think I would remember.
Cute.
The shoes were surprising.
Yeah.
There was activity attached to those little good energy.
Very good.
And I don't mind good energy every now and then. I know that's weird to say, but I really don't mind it every now and then when it's positive love between a mother and a child, and husband and wife, or whatever. That's just good. That's good stuff to have in your home. If you're going to buy a quote unquote haunted object, that's what you want. You want that. You can't add enough good energy into your home.
But isn't it funny when she didn't want to talk anymore? She did not talk anymore. Done.
Typical.
Well, hey, what can I say? Didn't want to talk to you.
Typical.
Did not want to talk to you. But
I respect that, and I'm never going to push those boundaries.
Doll? There's 2 things going on with that one.
My theory with that doll, from the minute we started interacting with it, and I saw Louisiana, or Louis, how do you say that? How do they say it? Louisiana? How do they say that? Oh, no, they say New Orleans.
But that's not, but
it's in Louisiana, but they say New Orleans, something like that. But as soon as I read and I started the initial interaction, I believe, based on very little interaction that we had, I believe Cassie got caught up in some stuff and something happened where oppression, I don't want to, possession is such a, I don't believe in demonic possession or any of that, but I think she was definitely affected by something, just like Sister Mary Rita's stuff. I think there's some of that going on there. And I think that energy is the dominant energy of around that doll. She's in there, but you got to go through some layers and really try to get to her. But you got to go through whatever is there first.
Were you aware, because you had the headset on your ears and stuff, the head, were you aware what was happening with me while you were under?
I heard
at
you
all.
coughing beforehand, but no.
So I was
how
coughing
would I, how would I
beforehand.
know?
So I have lung disease.
You were in the other
So
room.
so when I get affected for that's my weak spot. My lungs do get affected. So I started the cough, and the coughing is not because my throat's bothering me or whatever. It's because my lungs are tightening and I can't breathe. So that's a reaction that my body does because the airways are starting to swell and close off. And I was fine the whole entire time. So we decided that I would move myself into the other room, and John came up and will ask your question from there. But it was, if you go back and listen to that, I had a hard time speaking because it was less and less air in my lungs, and I was having to force. I was like this, trying to force out the questions. And then when I said to stop, you were talking about angels and
angel wings,
and all of a sudden things changed, and it was like lighter, and it was like all of a sudden my lungs were just released. And anyone who has asthma or lung disease knows that you cannot, your lungs don't react like that when you're having an attack. You need your meds, which I have medication for it, and because it just doesn't stop. There's got to be something that you've got to take to make that inflammation go down. And it was just like instantaneously. And then at the end, when you started reacting again while you were answering the questions, it built back up, and that difficulty of breathing, and that was starting again. And thank God you decided to end the whole thing then and there. But there were two things going on with that. That totally took me by surprise. And yes, because Kathy has lung disease.
But that's why, again, with stuff like that, it's like I feel bad when you're around, because it's like I can't do those things when you're around. You know what I mean? It's just, they got to be done. They're in the building, but you being there,
but I get physically affected.
It's like I have one hand tied behind my back because I'm worried. Are you going to be able to continue? Are you going to be able to finish? Are you going to be affected? But
I do have to say, having stuck that out as long as we did, and I did with you, there were things that were happening, and I don't know if the lighter, the good that came through would have came through if I hadn't been there. Does that make sense? I think the darker stuff would have stayed. I don't think you would have gotten, because I actually said for it to stop, and that's when things started to change, and it got lighter for whatever reason. Why are you looking
I think
like
you're
that?
taking this paranormal savior wife thing a little too seriously. Okay, you brought out the good and the angelic thing.
That's not what I'm saying.
And if I was there,
no. It's because of what I said. Like I said, stop. Like, you need to stop. And then it's like and their voice came through.
You're not even considering the fact that you see my aura. I have documented proof of my aura.
I've seen it.
You've seen it. I can show you the video. Again, the video is documented.
Yeah, I've seen it.
My angelic white aura. You don't think that all of a sudden that automatically, like a superpower, all of a sudden takes over?
So why wasn't it the whole entire time?
Because it took time to build up. It reacts to
does a pile
it reacts to when the negative and the dark is coming in, it generates.
You know that, right?
And then
you know that, right?
Then it happens.
So does a pile of this.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too.
You have a theory, I have a theory.
Yeah.
And I am usually
my theory is based in logic and reality.
But I mean that's my theory. But no, I have to. In my brain, I pull back on the reins because I'm just
You're worried, and I know you are.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do that if I was by myself. I really wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
I would keep going until
but here's the
crosses fell off the walls. How about that?
And you would.
Christian, remember that?
Christian
prayer. What else was it saying?
Well, it said the thing about the religious
was it
about
Eucharist?
Yeah, Eucharist. Kathy would know because Kathy and someone else. It had to do with communion.
And because I mentioned right off the bat that I wasn't a devout Catholic and I didn't know what I believed. And I think it was trying to use that. Yet, like you said, somebody was trying to come through saying, no, with this sucker, you need to pray.
Yeah.
You need to do this. You need to do that because I got caught in a bunch of junk. And that's the only thing that's going to stop you.
And that came through on EVP. That's what made that so amazing. And so these, I think what we need to do is come to an understanding if there is a possibility, because we don't always know what we're dealing with. But if we know, like what was said on that card, potential for evil, because that was the word that was used, we need to have an understanding that I am going to have to remove myself from the building, go sit in the car, whatever, watch you, through well, I won't be able to because you'll have both of the things inside. But we're going to have to do it where you can do what you need to do without that worrying, because I also think that that can affect what's happening as well. Because if you have that worry and I'm in the room and I'm being affected like that and you can't do what you need to do, that also changes the energy of what really could come out and happen.
And again, Chris has her concerns and her opinion, and she's justified in having them because,
damn straight I am.
You know, she's experienced things and she's gone through things, which is why she has those opinions and those fears. I haven't, and not as severe as what she's gone through. But Donna and I were talking about the Bon Jovi thing, the Bon Fosh. What is it? Bon.
Oh, the fun fetish.
Shake your bon. Was that what it's called? Fond fetish?
It's a fond fetish.
Fond fetish. And Donna was saying the same thing I did. Chris was like, end it. That's enough. End it. And I was like, no, we've opened that door. We're engaging. We're communicating, or whatever we're doing. We need to ride this wave until it hits the shore to see where and how this goes.
And I made the judgment call.
She made the call.
Because you're nasty.
No, that's
things are getting worse. The feeling in the room.
But Donna agreed with me that
I don't care.
You should have just
I don't care.
You should have stepped, as the kids say.
No.
And let me have taken that wave to shore to see what would happen.
No. And anyone that was watching that, I don't care what you and Donna think, because you and Donna don't believe in demons. So that's not going to work with me. And we will go head to head.
Put my hand up.
We will go head to head on this. You do not believe in demons. She does not believe in demons. So if you don't believe in something and you don't believe it exists, therefore you don't think it has the power to do what it can do. I do know it can. And sitting in that room.
That's not true with everything.
No, it's not about everything. It's about this and what I've gone through and what I know to be the truth that you haven't experienced. And that's fine. I'm not here to convince you, and I'm not here to convince Donna. But if I'm in that room and I'm watching what happens and I'm feeling what's happening and the whole atmosphere is changing and what's happening with you, my first choice is going to be protect and to shut it down. Now, if I'm not there and you want to do what you do, then you're a big boy. But when I'm there and I'm the one that's facing and watching what's happening, I'm going to do what needs to be done. No, I don't. No, I don't.
You got to.
No, I don't.
That's the whole purpose.
So if you get picked up and you get, you always you laugh about someone getting dragged across the room or whatever. So what, am I supposed to just let something? Let's say.
Then you can say, I told you so.
There will be no told you so. There'll be nothing I can do at that point because it went too far. Because you believe it can't happen.
Doesn't that give me some kind of protection?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. No, we're not gods. We're human beings with certain capabilities and common sense and stuff. But there are some things that are beyond our control. And some things
there are certain things that we just don't understand. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly. But you don't cross certain lines, because once you cross that line, there's a whole different thing that you don't understand that can happen. And that's how I feel. And you hear me.
I don't agree.
I know you, because you've never
in that
experienced
case,
it.
I hate to use the word, but you're a liability.
I'm not a liability. I'm the one.
No, you're a liability.
I'm the grown up in the room when it comes to that stuff.
No, your fear is going to get you to back out.
It's not. It's all right. You guys call chicken fear whatever.
Did I say that? You used the word chicken.
No,
I did not use the word chicken.
No, when we're joking, you guys do. But here's the thing. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's only so far to that line that you should go to. And I know that it's our jobs to investigate and deem if something's safe or not. And I know
where that line is.
Do you?
I've been affected and I've stopped.
I understand that. But what was going on in that room, which you could not feel because you were already affected.
Donna agreed with me.
I don't care what Donna agreed to. And this I'm going to say right out flat. I don't care what Donna thought. Donna wasn't there. I was there.
Okay.
End of story. And I will say that to anyone else. being in the moment at the time, the way you were reacting, how you were acting, how you were responding, and what was happening, you needed to be pulled out of that situation, and that needed to be shut down. And I did it.
I disagree.
And I'd do it again.
I disagree.
Ba-boom.
I disagree.
Ba-boom.
Sometimes you have to let it play out because it could go in a totally different direction than you're assuming it's going to go. Maybe there's a barrier that you hit and then you come back from.
Now, I agree
and you
with
find
you.
answers that you may not have found unless you...
I agree with you when it comes to something that's just angry and not evil. I do believe things get labeled evil that are not evil. They're angry. And they're angry maybe because of miscommunication or whatever. But when I feel what is to be true, truly not something good, that's a different situation. And that will always be my call.
Okay.
End of story.
That's what I'm saying.
I fight. You know me.
I may have to label. I may have to label objects and say, okay, for this one, I'm doing this one and this one. You should sit this one out.
I'm okay with that.
One and that one this week.
I'm okay with that.
You should. We're gonna. That's what I think we should.
I'm okay with that. But again, there are just some things that I will that I literally will shut down if I'm there and I know it's something that's not good.
Then we agree.
That you're crazy? Yes.
We agree.
100%. We're in agreement.
So today is Thursday. Saturday is the Sterling Hill Mine, last one of the year for us there. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. And another place this time of year. Love the Sterling Mine. I know a lot of people are disappointed that we didn't do the lantern tours, and we were kind of disappointed that we didn't do it either. Yeah. But we only got so much to give, and we're giving it all. So that should be a real good night. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. We'll do a wrap up, like I said, Sunday night or Monday, whenever we recover. But yeah, if you want to see us in the library, make plans to be in Clark on the 22nd, which is next week sometime, probably, right? That's like Tuesday or Thursday. Yeah. So come to Clark, New Jersey. Lots of places, good places to eat around there. I believe it starts at 7. Yeah. I think. I don't know why it starts at that time. But hopefully we'll see you guys there. We got to drop stuff off at the Creeper Gallery tomorrow night. We do. And I just want to say, too, this going back and forth and this stuff, it's really healthy and good to do. And I defy everybody to do it because we all have differences of what we believe and how we feel and stuff. And the one thing I will say, John will defend his point, and if I have something to say, he'll tell you. I will say it. I'm going to be very forthright with it. We come from all different backgrounds from our experiences, and that's what's unique about revealing this stuff and having this. If you play cutesy all the time and you talk and you don't and you agree on everything, you're not pushing those envelopes. You're not learning, and we're learning as we go, and that's really important for all of us. It's not a disrespect at all. No. Nothing like that at all. John respects me as much as I respect him. And if being lectured is a good and powerful thing, a great thing, then boy, I get so much goodness in my life that I'd like to share, and I can pass it around to a lot of. It'd be like a Coke. I can give it to the world and teach the world to sing. So, any other things you want to let out there? That's you got no more. Guys, have a good night. Stay healthy. Stay safe, and please, it's really important. Remember to be kind to each other. Good night. Good night, everybody.